everyone. Wendy here at the Denver Museum of Miniatures, Dolls, and Toys. And today we're going to look at how to make one of these really cool little sort of succulents in a wine cork. This is actually a craft I came up with some young students from the Gals School here in Denver. We worked on it at the Byers branch of the Denver Public Library. And these are pretty easy except for the very unsafe part. So, I know, that's a big caveat because they do use an X-Acto knife. Don't do this if you don't know how to use an X-Acto knife or are not confident in your X-Acto knife use. This one's probably the easiest because you just cut it in half like this. And you might be able to do this probably with like a utility knife. You might be able to do it with another strong knife, but definitely have someone who feels confident and can be safe. So this isn't a kid's kind of thing. So I just cut it in half, and then I did this kind of just like gouging out the center, and this can be hard. Like this is a really dry cork because it's been in storage for years. But if you have a fresh cork, it can be really, really dry and really tricky. So you only have to do the very center, but some people, just do what you like. That's how we roll here. So you can see it's kind of rough. This is a good time to sort of finish any edges. Like if you don't like that rough look, I'm all about the rustic, but it could just be that I'm lazy. I'm definitely as long as it tastes good kind of chef, and that frequently applies to my crafting as well. All right, so I'm using clay. It's a clay that was just left over from another project. You could probably also use salt dough. We've done that like crafting Play-Doh, not the regular Play-Doh. You could also do bread dough. There's lots of different kind of stuff you could use. If you're really hard up, there is that or who knows what crafting construction things you have. Sometimes you can find like that gray moldable eraser, and you could also use that. You could also just use glue and wait for it to dry a really long time. These are the times. So, break off a bunch of that, stuff it into your hole, and make it look all nice. And some people like to do all the way to the edge, and some people like to leave edging. And then you can decide what kind of plants you want to use. These are going to be so hard to see. I've got this little sort of sticky thing. This is leftover. This was just found outside. I've got these more traditional dried flowers. And I don't know why I'm using my hand. It's so weird. And then these are fake grass leftover or plants leftovers for something else. So on this one, I already used that fake plastic that's actually been colored. It looks like maybe with a marker or maybe with some paint that would stick to plastic. So I'm going to break out of my comfort zone. I'm actually going to do, I think this just leftover from nature sort of piece. I kind of like that arc. I think is really, really pretty. So, and then I'm just going to stick it in. I know, look at that. So one of the things we talk about when you do flower arranging, my mother is very talented at flower arranging, and her garden is immaculate, is what it looks like underneath. Now this white with this cork that's such a similar color and more brown might look a little bland to some of you, or it might look very calming and but if you don't like that and you like more contrast, you can look and see if you can find little bits of something. Here I've got This is from a miniature kit, so once again, I've got a wealth of supplies, but it's just kind of little dirt. And so I'm going to use that dark brown color and I'm going to push it in. And then I think that dark brown will make it pop a little more. If you've ever been to the Cactus and Succulent Society show, they do this great thing where they have a showroom and they'll put plants, and some plants will be soil covered in very shiny black rocks, and some will be in have white rocks, and it's all really just to highlight the plant is what you want to show off. So there's one, and then we'll do another one, and I'm just going to use this half cork. Sometimes you can kind of see that there's like a grain to the cork. Try not to fight it. But we're cutting again. Watch what you're doing when you have a sharp knife in your hand. Although it looks like this X-Acto knife might be on its last legs. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I just sort of like dig in and kind of find that middle, and I just sort of twist. There's probably like a more delicate way to do this, or a prettier way to do this, but you know, as long as you're safe and you're watching what you're doing, I think you'll be okay. All right. That one's not as deep, but this also isn't as deep. So I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to put in a little, and I'm not going to go all the way to the corner this time. I'm going to make it look like this is like a wider planter. And I think I'm going to use a mix of things. So I'm going to use, I had one student at the library, she's like an 8th grader, and she was so good. All of her stuff came out looking professional grade. And if I could hire her to come teach this for you, I definitely would. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this spikier part. I don't know. A little clippy clip off of here. All right. Oh, I broke it. All right. Here's my second. It's a little sparse looking. I'll probably add to it more later. But it's a start, and you see how to do it, and then you definitely know that yours will turn out better than mine. All right, I hope you're all well. I hope you all have fun creating some minis, and until next time, have fun crafting.